Well, it goes without saying that mixed martial arts is regarded as one of the fastest growing sports on the planet, and here on the African continent, the Extreme Fighting Championship is taking it to new heights. CGTN Sias Plessis sat down with the organization's founder, Cairo Howarth, and brings us more.
It's my pleasure to welcome the president of the Extreme Fighting Championship, Cairo Howarth. Cairo, thanks very much for your time. Let's talk about EFC, the Extreme Fighting Championship. Give us an idea of why you think it's been so successful.
I think there's quite a few factors that come in. I think the sport itself is just really fun to watch and easy to understand. It's not complicated. So the same reason it's exploding globally, I think it has the same attraction across Africa. Two people fighting is two people fighting. It's basic. You don't have to understand the language, or there's no barriers to get what's going on.
For someone who's never watched the sport before, there's strict rules. It takes place inside a hexagon. I mean, it's very strict as the approach towards the fighting, the rules, and the fighters themselves.
The athletes are exceptionally high caliber athletes. The kind of training that they do to get to the EFC level is unbelievable. You know, you look at, everyone aspires or looks up to Olympians, which are great athletes. But you look at an Olympian in judo, or an Olympian boxer, or Olympian taekwondo, or Olympian wrestler. To be competing at EFC, you have to be proficient in all of those Olympic sports and more, jiu-jitsu as well. And so you've got to be really good and be able to mix it all up, and then have your conditioning.
I noticed you used the word athletes and not fighters. Does that mean that the same anti-doping rules apply for the athletes?
It took us quite a few years of lobbying Drug-Free Sport South Africa to get them on board, and eventually we have got them on board. So for the last couple of years, they have been running our anti-doping program, and we work closely with them on it. And it's been brilliant for us. It's great. In the end, there needs to be level playing fields, and the only way you can do that is to try have as little doping as possible. We're realistic with it. We understand that in all sport, professional sport, it is a thing. All athletes try to get an edge over each other, but we need to try to keep it as safe and as fair as possible.
I mean, in terms of viewership, I know you've got a viewership across Africa, but in South Africa, what's the numbers like in terms of people watching the UFC?
This year's been phenomenal for us. We've had new TV partnerships, and we've had over 20 million unique South Africans watching EFC on TV in South Africa alone this year. So that's over 1 in 3 people in the country has watched EFC, and that makes EFC the second most watched sport in the country after football. So it's been fantastic for us, amazing, and we're hoping to replicate that across Africa.
I know that you do have a lot of female athletes who are contesting at the moment, but is that sort of an area you would like to grow?
Yeah, for sure. I think from a viewership point of view as well, we are slightly male skewed overall, and our feeling is this kind of content is should be more broadly appealing. We want to be the second most watched sport across the continent, and in order to do that, we want to get the female audience, watching more as well.
Could we see in the near future the EFC in a place like Angola, Kenya, somewhere else like that?
Definitely, most definitely. We're in chats with. We actually got very close with Angola a couple of years back. We're working on it again now, working on Nigeria, working on DRC at the moment. So it's definitely in the pipeline for us. It's where we want to be. We just want to make sure that we do it right.